Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So, back in Manchester, so I'm back to making videos. Hey, thanks for waiting. So, I want to talk about something that I'm currently live when we were doing other things earlier, and a big thing was brought to my attention in the comment section about Swoop's new video that she posted. And the title of it is The Colleen Ballinger Situation Keeps Getting Worse. And we're going to watch it, and I had a lot of people kind of coming and going from my chat mentioning different things here and there. I first and foremost want to say that I absolutely adore Swoop, and she has done so much for me personally, publicly, privately. I have so much love for that woman, and it has also been brought to my attention that there were some people that were saying, oh my god, Adam hasn't responded, or Adam hasn't been uplifting Swoop's new video, which was posted 2 days ago. This must mean that Adam has turned on Swoop or something like that, right? I'm going to do a quick little rundown for you right now. So, number one, that is not true. I have been in London and Brighton for the past week and a half. I was going to the Madonna concerts, with my mom, and we had so much fun, and I wasn't posting. And number two, I recently started a new therapist in Brighton, and in Manchester, and I've been really working through privately, and kind of personally, what I felt that I went through specifically during summer. And it was online for a little bit, now it's in person, and it has been life-changing, very much so, to kind of dig into things even further that I haven't even spoken about in regards to that topic, kind of whatever, and it has done a lot for me. And I've kind of not been speaking about that topic. I did a video on Oliver like 2 weeks ago, and then, since that I really haven't, because, I always used to do my reactions to different things here and there, and I know a lot of people have been asking for them, and I just haven't been doing them. That's literally it. And also, whenever I'm faced with, like, on my birthday, whenever I had a party in my apartment in Brighton, and my friends airplayed the ukulele video, and they were all singing it, and it was a funny moment. It was a funny moment, I'm gonna be honest, because it was like, look how ridiculous she is, and oh my god, I'm surrounded by so many friends that love me, and they're here to literally make fun of her and uplift me, and it was a very funny moment. And the video ended up going viral on Twitter, and someone had quoted it and was like, girl, just move on, and it got 60 or 70,000 likes, and the video got the tweet got 8 million views, and it was quoted to fuck of people ripping into me. Oh my god, why haven't you moved on? I'm starting to believe Colleen now because you won't shut the fuck up. So whenever I'm dealing with that, and then I'm talking that through in the therapy, they're just kind of the person is just kind of well, weigh the pros and cons. So I did, and I kind of just shut the fuck up. And that's not a sympathy, little old me, oh, I feel so, please give me sympathy. It's not like that at all. I genuinely don't care anymore. And I felt that I made enough progress that me saying I don't care to speak isn't I'm silenced. It's more so what's next, So whenever people were saying, oh, Adam not speaking about the Swoop video, number one, from my knowledge, I didn't even think that this was going to be a big update video. So I'll watch it when time comes, right? Okay, whatever. Number two, I love Swoop. And number three, from my knowledge of what the comment section have let me know, is that the backlash that Swoop got was because the video people thought was going to be about Oliver and Trent, and it wasn't, and apparently Swoop has addressed that in the video. We're going to get to it all. First and foremost, people in the chat have told me to respond to a post that Oliver wrote on Reddit. I'm going to pull it up right here. And I'm going to get a tissue because my nose is itchy. Be right back. You can read it, and then I'm going to read it with you. Hold on. I'm back. Okay, so this says, a message from Oliver, me. And also, I literally posted a video 2 weeks ago or something like that, where I went through the screenshots and Oliver and Trent, because I do think it's an important story. And first of all, I never want anyone to say that we are not highlighting the Oliver story, because I think that it is one of the most important aspects of this entire thing, and I do think it has been overlooked a lot. So I don't want to hear anyone saying that here, because I'm always here to uplift Oliver. I'm just very confused as to what's going on right now, but we'll get to it. I don't know what to flare this, since this isn't a Trent flare, So I chose Ballinger family. Hey all, Oliver here. I just want to thank everyone on this sub for the overwhelming support. I truly could not fully explain how much it's meant to me over the past few days. I think I may have said something similar to this under another person's post, but it really is frustrating to feel let down time and time again. I have decided to take it upon myself to share my story myself because my voice should be heard, and if I have to be the only one to platform it, I will. I mean, my nose is itchy. I mean, this is my story anyway, so maybe it was meant to be that I should be the one sharing it. I'm a busy full-time college student, so I'm not sure exactly when I'll post the video, but it will be hopefully within the next couple of weeks. I also want to make it clear that I will not be profiting off of this video, and instead, anything I make from the video will go directly towards my top surgery medical transition. Again, I appreciate all of you so much. Sending all of my love, Oliver. Okay, so, I'm so sorry you felt let down over and over, Oliver. We hope that sharing it now will feel like it leads to closure. Hopefully one day his story will be told. I'm glad I took it upon myself. Hey there, I'm really sorry that you felt let down over and over. Has Swoop reached out to you in light of all this? Don't hesitate to share a link to your YouTube channel. I reached out to her before her recent video, and she just told me my interview wouldn't be in the video. Oh, okay. Okay, so... wait. So from my knowledge, from Oliver's perspective, the next Colleen Ballinger update was going to be the Oliver interview. Is that correct? Have we got to the bottom of everything? Swoop explains it in this video. Yeah, I just want to start watching this because I have no fucking idea what's going on. And I also just don't have any idea why it's like, why people are trying to bring all of us into it because Swoop has uploaded a video on her second channel. I'm just confused. We'll get to it.
The internet can take a lie and run so far with it.
No, don't say that.
And I think the work that Colleen has done for the internet.
The work Colleen has done for the internet is just such a bizarre. Oh, I would have just.
I love this top.
And made it uncomfortable.
Oh my god, the necklace.
What has she done for the internet? Exploited children for the internet. Is it the gym or is it protein pap?
Time and place, Swoop. Time and place. A little bit of a warning would have been lovely.
Outer. Honey, the drapes don't match the curtains. Oh, hi, friends. It's my
Is that about Cory? Swoop. Is that about Cory?
face again. My name is Swoop, and welcome to the Sus Pool, a place where everything and everyone is sus, including us. Come on in. The water's fine. This is a place where we reach to the deepest corners of the internet to dip our toes in the darkest of pools and
I love a good Swoop video.
Shadiest, most sus stories and talk shit. I mean, analyze it intellectually, of course. I don't really know, okay? This is new. We're gonna figure it out together. So welcome to the very first video on my brand new second channel. If you're coming from my main channel, Swoop, thank you so much for being here. It means so much. I know some of you are gonna ask the question, Swoop, why start a second channel? So as most of you know, I make documentary deep dives on my main channel, and they take a long ass time to...
I don't mean to cut Swoop off, but I can only imagine that if I've only felt this amount of the pressure that people put on people to talk about a topic, the amount of pressure that has been put on Swoop to cover everything to do with the Colleen situation has been crazy. And I've even seen when Swoop will post an update video that has tiresome work, like hours upon hours of footage and so much editing, people will be like, oh, well, this just happened. Why isn't that included? And I just think that there's someone reminded me that I do watch my reaction videos on 1.25 speed. That is true. My chat were like, whoa, this video is really slow. I just think I can't imagine the frustration of doing huge deep dives and then by the time you post it, people are saying, well, what about this? And I'm not saying that in regards to the Oliver situation. I'm saying that in regards to even when Swoop posted her first video, she was getting backlash for it's not enough. And I think people have to realize as well that it's like Swoop has no obligation to have done any videos on Colleen Ballinger. Swoop doesn't have any obligation to do any videos on anything. You know, the audience can expect a lot and the audience can want a lot, and that's fine, and that's one thing, right? But it's just important to note that there has been a lot of pressure on Swoop, and I know that I assume people now are saying that, oh, well, the Josh and Johnny thing shouldn't have been a video. Are people not remembering that that was the most anticipated video from Swoop? Like, are people rewriting history here? Like, I am going to defend Swoop here. Like, I've seen a lot of posts of people being like, oh, like, what could have been this or this or this or this or this was overshadowed by Johnny and Josh. And I'm like, okay, well, you were the one on the front line begging for that video, complaining when it was delayed, wanting it so much. I mean, that was like the biggest video. Like, it's interesting to me that it's like, yeah, it is her channel, number one. But number two, it almost feels like people are rewriting history in a way here, because that Josh and Johnny video was like the biggest thing. Like the biggest thing. And I can only imagine how frustrating that is for Swoop if people are like, oh, well, we didn't even want that one. We wanted this, 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 and this. And you can want this, 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 and this, and still acknowledge that you were in the trenches waiting for that Josh and Johnny video. Another damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yes. And I think as well, like, the amount of praise that Swoop got for highlighting Josh and giving Josh a voice, are people now forgetting that? Like, I can't imagine how frustrating that is for Swoop. And I am going to defend her here on the front lines. And I'm not even saying that as a bias of someone who, you know, Swoop listened to me and platformed me. Like, I'm not saying it in terms of that. I'm saying it as someone who also makes content. Not to the same level, quality, time, energy as Swoop. Holy fuck. Like, this is not the same thing. But I can understand the frustration of people asking for you to do something. You do it, and then it's not to the level they want it. So then they complain and say they never wanted that in the first place. I feel that a lot whenever I have talked about this topic, which is kind of why I don't talk about it anymore. And again, Swoop has been getting this for all 3 episodes so far, or is it 3 episodes or something? And it's like, Swoop could have stopped at the first one. Like, so yes, people can say, we wish there was a Oliver episode. We wish that we saw the interview. We wish that we saw this. But for people to say, I wish there was an Oliver episode, no one even wanted the Josh and Johnny episode. That's not true. And that's completely talking down to Swoop and people being like, I'm so disappointed now that an entire episode was wasted on Johnny. Oh, and you watched the entire thing. So you are rewriting history to, like, you can leave it at, I really wish, and, you know, you could say, if everyone else was heard, Oliver deserved to be heard too. And that is true. But to then throw in the face of Swoop and be like, well, we didn't even want the other ones, make the other one. It's like, okay, like, what do you... And also, Swoop had already made a video platforming Johnny, so it was the responsible thing to do to then kind of deplatform Johnny. So Dad said, in the end, it's Johnny's fault. Yeah, it's like, Swoop was dealt with a situation where she covered a video and a topic, not thinking it was going to be as big as what it is. None of us did with the Johnny situation. It then turns into something. Swoop, you know, kind of fixes the situation, is probably so fucking exhausted by the end of it, by the way. Like, from what she has told me behind the scenes, which again, very minimal, let me tell you something. The woman was fucking tired when she hit upload on that final episode. Fucking exhausted. And her team were fucking exhausted. The 2 others. So I can't imagine how frustrating it is for having to refix that entire narrative, needing a breather, and then being like, we didn't want them, we wanted this. Absolutely, Oliver should be heard. And I will do everything that I can to highlight and further, you know, uplift that story in Oliver. And I think Oliver's fucking incredible. And the ramifications of Oliver coming forward have been so fucking intense in a great way to protect kids. And whenever I did that video like 2 weeks ago, I even included a clip from my original video going through the DMs because I think it's important to continue doing that. But I think the overwhelming amount of pressure being put on Swoop here, you need to also realize that Swoop is just fucking one person and there's 2 other people on this team. And And it would be very hard for Swoop not to internalize one topic in this. Anyone would. But also Swoop has been through similar things. And then she's interviewing all of these different people. She interviewed Johnny for the longest time. It's just like, y'all, give her a fucking break. And I'm seeing everyone switch up. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, just fucking annoying. Like, so fucking annoying. And I have not even texted her about this. I know people are going to be like, oh, well, it's because you're texting Swoop. Have not talked to Swoop in... When was the last time I talked to Swoop? It's not about that at all. Last time I spoke to Swoop... Oh my God, Swoop. Sorry, I didn't respond to your birthday wish. The last time was Swoop sending me a birthday message on September 30th. Sorry, Swoop. You sent it at like 6 a.m. my time. I knew I would have been drunk. Thank you, Swoop. Oh, that's really sweet. The last time I talked to Swoop was like the 25th of September. So this is not me being biased or anything like that in terms of, you know, we're texting behind the scenes. She's feeding me information. No, it's that give this woman a fucking break. And also thank you so much for your birthday wish, Swoop. I'm sorry I didn't see it until now. Sorry.
Produce, trust me, I know, and I hear y'all being like, why is it taking you so long to make these? Because we scrub every crevice known to man to dig as deep as possible into those stories, okay? John Silvestri, I'm looking at you. And I work really hard to try to deliver a pristine, high level of production quality for all of you to enjoy. Y'all know I'm a thorough bitch, which is why those take so long and why I am perpetually afraid of working so long on a story that by the time I post, people might be like over the topic. It's kind of like, bitch, what if you're late to the shit show and everyone done flushed the toilet and moved on, okay? That's what goes on in my brain all of the time. And with that, it also means that I don't get to cover as many stories as I'd like or post as often as I like, which kind of sucks because I want to hang out with you more. Y'all are fun. So boom, second channel. Sounded like a good idea at the time. We'll see if I survive this. Other questions. Do I have the exact format nailed down? No. Do I know exactly what I'm doing here? No. Do I have confidence this isn't going to be a complete train wreck? We're going to do this together. We're going to do real-time investigations, updates on stories I cover on my main channel, and also get into some lesser known but truly bizarre topics that I just want to talk about. And yet...
And again... I don't know if this is what Swoop means by that. Again, I've shown you that we're not texting behind the scenes. I think that if people are giving Swoop criticism after this video and they're not picking up on what she just said about, oh, whenever we're doing incredibly detailed deep dives on my main channel, spending hours upon hours, blah, 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 blah. You know, I just need a place where I can go back to filming videos on topics that I want to do in the moment. If you're not also realizing that she's kind of saying there about, like, the pressure, I don't want to speak for her, but to me, that's what that comes across as. Like, pick up on it a little bit.
Yes, I will still be posting docs on my main channel at the quality that you're used to. So it's like same in-depth there, less editing, more casual here. Sound good? Great. So to start us off, I could think of no greater suspect, no one more perfect to take the first dip in the cesspool than Miss Colleen Ballinger.
Oh, those scary coming in there.
So what has been happening in the Colleen Ballinger universe since I released part 4 of my series back in September, and what is the status on an alleged part 5? I've heard y'all talking, okay? First, I'm gonna start by talking about the one thing that aged like milk literally days before part 4 came out, and that was me saying JoJo Siwa hadn't spoken publicly about Colleen Ballinger.
I forgot about that. I remember watching that and being like,
yeah, turns out JoJo had a lot to say in an interview with Howie Mandel on his Howie Mandel Does Stuff podcast on September 13th. It was literally, she came out with that interview and I was like, we have already finished most of our production. I can't do anything about it. So here we are. Now, for those of you who don't know who she is, JoJo Siwa is an entertainer, dancer, singer, YouTuber, etc. She's 20 years old as of right now. So she got started on Dance Moms, which is just kind of like a cesspool of atrocities. Like if I ever saw one.
Do people want to watch the Dance Moms as well? You know the way we're going through watching old reality shows? Do you want to do that? I've never watched Dance Moms.
If you want a full Swoop documentary on that, I have been thinking about it. Oh my gosh.
Hey, Swoop, I said it first. Me first.
Oh, honey, there's like so much going on there. But JoJo Siwa is a bona fide child star, now international superstar, and she appears on TV shows like So You Think You Can Dance. She's got a new show out. I haven't seen it, but it's out. It exists. And as a child, she started collaborating.
It exists.
Like Colleen Ballinger, Joshua David Evans, Trisha Paytas, Shane Dawson, James Charles, many of whom...
What an awful lineup. What an awful lineup that just was. It's like a bingo of like the worst people in the entire world.
She is still close with, including Colleen. Dude, if you think about that list of people, can you imagine just like literally growing up in the spotlight and then kind of growing up with those people as your mentors and examples? And wow, that's a lot of shit. So when JoJo appeared on the Howie Show, Howie
Nightmare blow.
Just, like rip off that Band-Aid entirely and started the segment by asking if JoJo was still friends with Colleen. And JoJo, well, you know, she had answers. How JoJo answered kind of shook the internet like so suddenly that it was covered by big YouTubers like Moist Critical. Like, you know, when Moisty gets involved, you done something. So I thought, let's just watch a few clips. I'm going to react to give you a few thoughts of it.
Not Moisty. That name makes me...
Are you, and if I'm wrong, are you friends with Colleen?
This is a crazy reaction. Exception.
You kind of met her when you were young?
I was 12 when I met her.
And
we can just end the interview there. Babe.
She's always been nothing but kind to me, her family, nothing but kind to me. This is the first time that I've talked about this, so I just want to make sure I say my exact piece that I want to say.
I really want to know if JoJo knew in advance. I think generally with an interview like this and someone with as high of a public profile as JoJo,
that's a weak question as well.
Questions and a list of things that are
people can go so far.
With my interview with Joshua, he was very much like, ask me anything, and I was like, that's the only way I'm going to do an interview with you is if nothing is off limits. And so I'm curious if
she said that to Johnny too. That's what the fucking disaster was, right, Johnny?
PR team knew that this was coming.
The internet.
Adam, just so you know, Swoop put some clips of you in this. Oh, so there's going to be a jump scare? Oh, God.
Can take a lie and run so far with it, so far, that it's to the point where you just can't do anything about it.
Okay, I have to pause.
It's to the point. Swoop just said I need to pause. So did JoJo. It's to the point where it's just... Come on, you can do it.
Here, JoJo not only defended Colleen, she says that the allegations levied against her are based on lies, which is weird. It's weird because, as a reminder, the allegations relate to Colleen Ballinger meeting underage fans and allegedly grooming them. So for JoJo to follow all of that up by saying, and I quote, "I've known Colleen since I was 12. She's always been nothing but kind to me," is wild, dude. It's the contradiction.
I love that Johnny was like, I need a moment. Whenever I come back with my statement, the world will know the truth. Never to be seen again. What does he do now? Johnny, give us an update. Give us an update or two. Come on. Don't be shy. Give us an update or two. How you doing?
For me, honey, the drapes don't match the curtains. I'm trying to be a little
banished
because I know JoJo is still quite young and she again grew up in the entertainment industry. That is
shitty remix.
That you do not know what that does to you psychologically, mentally, emotionally, and how you.
I'm not crying. I have an eyelash. Sorry, I'm crying over JoJo.
It's just one of those things. So I know that JoJo, just by the nature
of an eyelash,
has been through some shit. It's kind of impossible not to be. But also, I just when I'm listening to her, just kind of like song and dance around saying anything of any kind of specific nature or detail, it just makes me wonder, well, then why are you talking about it? And then to just refer to it as lies. Putting this blanket word of lies over everything to me is very irresponsible. There have been a number...
I've watched this JoJo clip so many times that I feel immune to it, but all I'm going to say is, fuck you, JoJo!
...of victims who came forward to share their experiences very bravely. They didn't have to do that, but they did. A lot of them presented quite a lot of evidence. Adam, you know, being a kind of a main person that I'm referencing there. And to just put a blanket term of calling it lies over there just because it's not what you think your experience is yeah, I don't
I know Colleen very, very, very well.
JoJo's experience
since you were 12.
It does not make it a blanket thing that applies to everybody else in their own experiences.
And I think the work that Colleen has done for the internet.
Swoop, you better stop laughing at that. That is so rude. Swoop, you better hold that laugh in. You rude woman.
I'm sorry. The work Colleen has done for the internet is just such a bizarre... What has she done for the internet? She has put on a Netflix show that just completely made a whole mockery of the fibromyalgia, chronic illness. Hi, me being someone who has that. So that's one thing she's done for the internet. She's also exploited children for the internet.
Yes. Yeah, so on Dance Moms, Tadra Call had a party.
Boo, Tadra Call.
And four of the girls went, and they discluded myself and Nia, who's another girl.
I love the story she tells where Colleen invites the kids to like dinner. She loves that.
Were they disinvited intentionally? I'm so curious about what the story is there.
Then Colleen, as Miranda, surprised the girls. And me and Nia were devastated because we were massive fans and we loved Colleen and we loved Miranda. And then when the episode came out, Colleen saw how upset me and Nia were. And she reached out to Holly and was like, I would love to like make this up to you guys. She was like, I was wondering where JoJo and Nia were. Like, please, like whatever you guys want, like, I just want to make the kids happy. Like, I just want JoJo and Nia to not be sad anymore. And so we ended up going to dinner with Colleen, and it was me and my mom and Nia and Holly.
Is that odd to anyone else? JoJo's laying that foundation that she was a big fan. So we've already established multiple instances of a power dynamic, right? And again, power dynamics don't have to be inherently abusive. It's just something that...
But they can lead to being used as, like, what's the word? They can be used to like leverage things. And you can always kind of get away with more stuff if there's a little bit of a power dynamic there.
Know it exists. And so we know that there's a power dynamic of Colleen being significantly older than 12-year-old JoJo. And we also know that JoJo was a huge fan of Colleen. So that also creates another power dynamic. And then we hear that Colleen found out, that they were upset, that these children were upset. And so she's like, whatever you want, I'll do it. Like, it's just this weird kind of pandering thing. Did Colleen look at JoJo at that time and think, I need to associate with this child because it's going to boost my career?
How is it for you now being her friend and reading some of what we read? Do you think it's all a lie? Do you think it's...
So we glossed over how did you go from idolizing Colleen and Miranda? How did you go from idolizing to being friends? And then having this whole relationship that was just glossed over. I want to just ask so many questions.
There have been a lot.
I think Tana recently went on the High Mandel podcast and talked about it as well, that we could watch. I think she spoke about it and what his opinion was like whenever JoJo was saying that, because again, he's very he knows the topics and so has a more stronger opinion than what JoJo has.
A lot of people on the internet who have gotten hit with this cancellation.
When people call these types of things a cancellation, we are talking about grooming. We are talking about exploiting children. We are talking about, allegedly, I still have to say that, sending illicit photographs to underage children. This isn't a cancellation. This is accountability. There's a difference.
As Trishy Paytas would say, banishment
of shit. Right?
And I look at it and I see...
What do you see, JoJo? I see rainbows and butterflies and children with money in their face. JoJo goes, I look at a child and I see a dollar bill.
That this is a sensitive subject. Somebody who is affected by any sort of anything having to do with adults. And
anyone affected by anything, actually. Anything.
It's a very sensitive thing.
What? Okay, she's doing that thing again where she's extremely vague, stopping all of her sentences and not saying anything. Yes, we know it's sensitive. Those that affected, and I don't even know if she's talking about Colleen as being affected or she's talking about the victims as being affected, and then says real grooming. So I think by making that distinction, what I'm gathering, but again, I don't want to make too many assumptions here because I haven't talked to JoJo.
We can only make the assumptions.
Makes it sound like she's implying what people like Adam have come forward to talk about is not real grooming. And I think that might be what JoJo is dancing around. And again, because she's
dancing around. Swoop, was that on purpose?
With her descriptors here, it's almost
any sort of anything. Stuff to do with anything of anything, actually. Your Honor, any sort of anything.
You must have really young people reaching out to you now.
I wish, when she paused there and then her sentence just trailed off, I wish Howie had not said anything. As an interviewer in that situation, I would have chosen to just stay silent.
Because they'll say more.
To just let the awkward, uncomfortable silence exist because they're going to feel the need to fill that gap with more words.
Swoop, did you know I have a journalism degree? That is exactly what we got taught when we were interviewing people. Swoop. Love it.
Similar things that happened in my interview with John. Oh, I would have just sat there and made it uncomfortable just to hear where she was going.
Like, I know, like, her daughter's 9.
Yeah.
If she could right now and she
write
watches
to you and talk to you, like
she would, and she would love to be your friend and love to be online.
Isn't that like a therapy technique? I think to get people to say more.
And she became my friend, and she became somebody that I looked up to. She became somebody that I idolized. She became somebody that I
used to know.
That was such a loaded statement. I think this just could be an age and an experience thing that JoJo doesn't see at all yet. For her to say, well, what's different, her and Colleen's relationship is different because, they are friends. But it's like, you were 12, 13, 14, 15. You're friends with a significantly older person, and that's not raising a red flag.
And the adult, by the way, went out of her way to be friends with you. Sorry, the adult went out of her way to be friends with you. So, time and place. Time, now, where, place, prison. I'm kidding.
I have a lot of questions.
That's a joke.
Did that friendship look like? Was your mother always there? Were you alone at times? Like, what are the details of that dynamic? That's what I would want to ask JoJo here. And then she follows up saying we're friends with I idolized her. So again, we're getting back to that power dynamic, because how much of it was a friendship if you idolized her? Because if you idolize someone, they're like, you look up to them, you idolize them. That's more of a fan relationship, right? That gets into very gray, fuzzy territory if that is a friendship or if it's a fanship. I don't even know if that's a word we're going to use.
I remember it all too well.
And so throughout our friendship, we probably filmed 100 videos together.
Is it a friendship or is it a fanship? Is it a friendship or is it a working collaborative relationship?
I mean, that's true. That's a good point that Swoop brings up. JoJo's talking here about being friends and friends and friends, but is using examples of working together.
The problem is the internet was able to capitalize off of her cancellation. And
no, don't say that. JoJo, the internet, all the internet, I guess. The internet saw this grown woman exploiting vulnerable children and exposing them to very sexualized content. The internet had a problem with that because the internet should have a problem with that. It's not capitalizing on a cancellation. It is calling for accountability of very dangerous behavior. There's a reason why my main channel tagline is it's not drama, it's dangerous. It's not capitalizing it. It's calling it out because we need to do better, right? It's interesting that JoJo would say that instead of saying, well, Colleen was capitalizing on exploiting children. It's always interesting to me when people take that opinion.
That's a good point.
Them or their friend or something being canceled.
That's a good point. Like, everyone's the victim. Or, sorry, there's no one the victim except for her. Like, ugh. I feel like I've watched this JoJo thing so much that I don't really have anything else left to say on it, but it is still just so irritating to watch it. Just between us.
And they're like, oh, you're just trying to capitalize on it. It's like, or maybe we just care. Maybe we just care.
Do you think JoJo will have the moment of realization? Do you?
Stance against JoJo Siwa. Like, as I made clear,
I'm asking genuinely.
I'm not thrilled with the idea.
I think JoJo won't because, I mean, all she's known is adults in her life exploiting her.
Of calling someone a victim who does not consider themselves.
And also she doesn't care because she's so rich.
It doesn't seem like she considers herself to be a victim of Colleen.
And apparently she's an awful person too, allegedly.
Here and say that someone is being abused by another person, right? And there are a lot of instances where the victim develops a trauma bond to their abuser. And yes, John, just a reminder, that is the correct use of that phrase, trauma bond. But sometimes if there is a bond happening, the victim might not be able to see
Not the Johnny shade.
enough to know that they are a victim. This happens quite a lot. And someone might have to step in for their own protection, right? So it's very nuanced and tricky, and I'm trying to be careful about just labeling JoJo a victim if she doesn't believe that. It's just a very nuanced thing. But I do want to point out, with all of that in mind, objectively speaking, a lot of much older canceled YouTubers sure seem to freaking like to surround themselves with JoJo when they are going through a controversy. Like, you can see it in a lot of JoJo's collaborations with Shane Dawson, or her recent collabs with my personal favorite, James Charles, or Sister Cesspool, as I like to call him. And you see it with her sort of acting as a mouthpiece for Colleen Ballinger now. It's just an interesting trend to me that so many adults have so much to say about JoJo Siwa, and JoJo Siwa has nothing but kind things to say about each of them. Now, does that mean her relationship was healthy and her mom was around and she doesn't feel, any type of negative impact? I certainly hope so. I don't want to think that, it was a terrible situation for her. That would be awful. But when I think about all these dynamics, the funny thing is I don't entirely see what JoJo Siwa gets out of these collaborations. Like, she was a child star, right? And didn't really need any of these people, but each of these people definitely gained something when hitching their horse to...
That's interesting. Like, was JoJo Siwa gaining an audience from Shane Dawson? No. Was Shane Dawson gaining a young audience from JoJo? Yes, that's actually a really good point made by Swoop. Was JoJo Siwa gaining an audience from James Charles? Most likely not. Was James Charles gaining one from her? Yeah. Young people. Young boys, James. Colleen, the same thing. So it's interesting how many of this era of YouTube used JoJo, but they seem to be the only ones gaining something out of it. Swoop, that's a really good point. Hats off.
The JoJo stable. Yeah, I don't horse euphemism. I don't know where that came from. We're just gonna run with it. Now, I do hope
horse euthanization.
And realize that not only are the allegations against
never mind.
Colleen from other people that don't involve her not rooted in lies, but that many of
when you watch a JoJo clip, you can just know that she's shouting.
Colleen and other adults in her world. For instance, JoJo was in the group chats with other underage fans and a much older Colleen Ballinger. Like, adults were definitely inappropriate, in my opinion, around JoJo and in context.
That's always just. I remember whenever JoJo was like, I would never be in these kind of things, and then someone tweeted and was like, oh no, JoJo was in the group chats with Colleen and us.
and with her for years. And I think JoJo was in relatively close contact in these group chats with many of the people speaking out against Colleen, and no doubt, I would imagine, saw much of what had been screenshotted and alleged. So to say that these are all based on lies or...
Girl, you were in them.
That's a lie. It's just that there's too much evidence that has been shown time and time again by a number of individuals. And again, I do hope that at some point JoJo can see that. As someone who, I've shared in my documentaries and stuff that I was groomed, and it took me a very long time, years for me to understand that. And I had to educate myself on it before I even really started to grasp the extent of what happened to me. And I'm coming from a place where it was like horribly abusive. But, when I was in it, and if, the immediate years following, I had a very real trauma bond. And I was very much still in my mind, like excusing it, defending it, all of those types of things until I've learned a lot more. And so I don't know if that could...
So again, I hope people listen to that when they are trying to pressure Swoop into putting another 10, 20 plus hours into a video when you realize that this topic is directly affecting Swoop's mental health, and it is incredibly unreasonable and inappropriate to expect someone to constantly be willing to cover everything, because Swoop didn't even have to cover any of this topic. I can understand wanting different things to be covered, but this is someone who directly will feel this topic, and it's inappropriate to demand them to cover every aspect. It is.
Potentially be where she is at. But I would absolutely love to interview JoJo. I've thought about reaching out to her. Let me know if you think that I should, and I will. I have no idea if she'll respond to me at all, but I think it would be great to have a sit down with her and really kind of understand what's going through her mind with all of her everything. Now, there's been another member of the Ballinger family who has finally spoken out, and although they've agreed with JoJo on this lie...
Jessica?
What the
Jessica, right?
They're going to do except call everything lies, but they have at least agreed on...
Just Sofa Ballinger.
Trent Ballinger is a menace to society. Allegedly. On October 2nd, 2023, the YouTube channel The Ballinger Family posted a family vlog video titled Hollywood, Here I Come. Now, the video itself is fairly standard, like rather benign vlog content created by Colleen's brother Chris and his wife Jessica, focusing on a family trip to LA to celebrate none other than JoJo Siwa herself.
Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to a very special party for our friend JoJo.
Now, I didn't really talk in
For our friend JoJo. Oh, Chris. Oh, Chris. Don't you need to go work on more projects with your sister that are never going to get picked up? Fuck. Our friend JoJo. Holy shit.
Docuseries about the Ballinger family, since that's a bit of another rabbit hole entirely. But Chris and Jessica have been running this channel for so long that some older videos feature Joshua David Evans. With over 2 million subscribers, the Ballinger family is a brand unto itself that exists independently of sister Colleen and has gone, mostly unscathed throughout this reckoning the public has taken with the Ballinger brand. What makes this interesting is that for the first time since June, someone, and I think we can assume it's Jessica based on the typing style, has decided to speak out in defense of Colleen in the comment of this video. One commenter wrote, quote, "Yikes, JoJo, I just can't support this behavior of being surrounded by people who are problematic. Makes me sad." To which the Ballingers responded, "It is sad to me how caught up people get in online gossip. JoJo is a lovely person. She has a huge heart, dedication to bringing joy to others, and an absolutely brilliant mind. We have entered into a new sad era where it is more profitable to complain about and destroy other humans than to live."
Again, I've already said this, but Jessica was directly enjoying the culture of destroying people and drama and stuff whenever she was in fucking group chats with us whenever we were all kids. So just Sofa, sit down.
Them up. The best quote I've heard about this experience is, "If you have a problem with me, call me. If you don't..."
Sienna May's video, by the way. Remember Sienna May that was accused of SA? She said that. She was like, "If you have a problem with me, call me. If you don't have my number, then we don't have a problem."
Don't have my number, then you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me. Okay, listen, I've seen that quote. I can't remember who that quote is from, but I've seen people use that, and I'm sorry. It's one of those
It's like a teen movie. Remember what I said about Josh? Oof. I got out of life for that comment. So maybe I shouldn't make it again here.
Platitudes, and they have a beautiful sunset background. It's some quote that's life is for living.
And everyone clapped.
Sounds deep, but it's not really saying it, right? And so when I think about that quote, it's if you have a problem with me, call me. If you don't have my number, then you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me. That literally can't apply to all things in this world, right? I have a problem with the way some politicians do shit. I don't have their phone number, so does that mean I'm not allowed to have a problem with
that? That means you don't have a problem with them, Swoop.
Murders someone and goes on trial for it. I have a problem with that. Does that mean I'm not allowed to have a problem because I don't have their phone number? It's such a weird thing to me to use that type of quote. You can have problems with people that you don't have their phone numbers. That's called advocacy most of the time. If it were that way, where you had to be personally connected to someone and have their contacts, otherwise you can't say shit about what they do. Can you imagine?
We also can't expect much of Sienna May, to be fair.
And they're going to find out because they can't, it's just, I don't know. Anyways, let me finish the quote. Instead of being concerned about all the people supporting JoJo, perhaps consider that they know her on a human level rather than parasocial options. I do really encourage you to look at your engagement.
Jessica, bitch. By the way, I'm not saying this in an ageist way because Jessica's still young, but I'm just saying it because she's like doing everything and I just want to be mean to her. Jessica, at your prehistoric age, you're talking about defending your friend JoJo, who's literally probably 20 something years older than you. So the difference in between you is older than what age she is. Like, girl, seriously.
With gossip culture, with the same scrutiny, though, it is likely having a more negative...
None of the other dinosaurs that Jessica grew up with are befriending children. Fucking hell. They were all killed by asteroids.
...impact on you than you seem to realize. And it's like, I see angles where I think that comment was maybe trying to go, but at the same time, you're also criticizing someone who's simply stated that they have boundaries for the type of influencer that they follow. And like, this person left a comment saying, I have a problem if someone surrounds themselves with people they consider...
But if you don't have my number, Swoop, we don't have a problem.
...on who they do and don't want to support with, you know, watching their content. And I don't think there's a problem with that. I think actually viewers, people in general, all of us, me included, should probably set some more boundaries with the type of content and people that we follow on social media. I don't think there was anything wrong with that. But at the same time, you know, we also have to be careful, I think, of judging someone, in this instance, JoJo, as a person based on the other people around them. JoJo was like birthed into the entertainment industry. I can't even tell you, with my experience in the entertainment industry, and as a musician, people around you in this business are just so shady all the time. Like, almost everybody is shady. It's really difficult to find like true, genuine people to surround yourself with. And sometimes you have to work with people that are just kind of crappy. But again, I completely understand why someone would have a problem. So to recap all of that, the Ballingers defend JoJo, then decry what people are saying about her as gossip culture. Later on, Jessica writes to them saying, quote, I responded to someone who was making an accusation about Colleen, saying that I haven't seen proof of their accusation. They'll likely screenshot my response, or someone will. They'll make a clickbait gossip video about me and probably make up a ton of things that they believe I think without any actual info from me. They will get a ton of views and make claims about my reputation. They will start a mob of people who come...
Not Jessica reputation era. Jessica goes, nobody's heard from me for months. I'm doing better than I ever was. Girl, the old Jessica can't come to the phone. Why? Because she's dead. Seriously, Jessica, no one cares about you enough.
Here and to all of our socials attacking us. Then they will attack anyone who supports us and encourage more people to attack us. That's the mob mentality. It's happening.
Reputation, Jessica's version, recorded from the sofa.
I wonder what good people she's talking about. Colleen, like, is that your definition of good people? I don't know. It's kind of sus. But, you know, to be fair, Jessica, I'm not here to attack you, as you call it. I don't know much about you beyond your relations to Colleen, and I have no interest in watching your family vlog channel and the potential exploitation of children for profit if I can help it. Allegedly. But we know you were in the Weenies group chat. Yeah, that's a thing. And that's weird, dude. And what's really interesting is that in response to either a hidden or deleted comment seemingly about Trent Ballinger, Jessica, you came out of the blue with this. Quote, I absolutely support anyone with incriminating info to bring it to authorities. There is personal nuance as to his level of developmental delay, which he has always kept private, but it is much more than is known publicly, and I feel awful for sharing even that. But he's not someone that I have had contact with or will have my kids have contact with since learning about his...
So acknowledging that because Oliver came forward, Jessica no longer wants Oliver's abuser to be around her kids the way that Oliver, he had to go through all that.
Did you keep this?
Why did that sentence take me so long to say? That was a struggle in my head for some reason. There was just too many players in my head.
For Colleen? If we have evidence of Colleen sending nude pics of Trish to John, and Adam saying that she also sent them to him as a minor, and Colleen at least confirming some of this with Trish, then one word, yes or no, do you think authorities should investigate Colleen? Okay, yeah, let's continue. Quote, I personally do not have that evidence, but from what has been shared, I can still use an abundance of personal caution with my kids and make choices accordingly.
Wouldn't you use that with Colleen?
A sweet, genuine person who shouldn't have had that emotional burden at that age. I am wondering, have you reached out to Ollie if you are sad for him and posting a comment about it randomly on another person's comment on your family vlog about going to Hollywood? There is healing that could be provided to these...
Jessica, you're going to Hollywood. Jessica goes, who's paying, Colleen?
People who were so profoundly affected by Colleen, by Trent, by the family, if someone, just reached out and said something. Just a thought. Now, this is the first time since the Colleen controversy began that anybody still actively associated with Colleen Ballinger has directly named any of the victims in this story. Now, as a reminder, the Ollie being referred to here is Oliver, a remarkable young man that I've been speaking to privately and publicly for the duration of my research on this project, who has alleged with a massive amount of evidence that Colleen's older brother, Trent...
So was that a clip from the interview?
...messages over Twitter for months when he was only 13 years old. Yeah, Oliver's been through a lot and is so incredibly strong. It's just, Oliver is a remarkable person. I can tell you that for a fact. Since then, more information has leaked about inappropriate messages that Trent has shared with other underage and sometimes of-age fans of Colleen, as well as the revelation that Trent would spend more time on Colleen's fan chats via Tiny Chat than any member of the family. Think about that. Now, for the record, all of those fans were underage at the time, and despite John Silvestri's questionable story, there is photographic proof that even he spent a decent amount of time in person with Trent Trent both before and after he was of age. And now Oliver's story is quite disturbing, and it's one that we were looking to share more in depth before Johnny did a massive belly flop in the cesspool and we had to mop up his bullshit for a solid month. I actually conducted an interview with Oliver that we never got to air because of John's mess, which sucks. Even my segment discussing Trent in my interview with Joshua had to be cut because we didn't have time to fully investigate Trent the way we needed to before presenting any of that and all of the secrecy that's been surrounding him. So again, thanks for that, John boy. Regardless, comments like these from Jessica are illuminating, however, on why Oliver's story needs.
Okay, so that's obviously what has pissed a lot of people off on Reddit, clearly. Let me listen to it one more time.
Of the victims in the story. Now, as a reminder, the Ollie being referred to here is Oliver, a remarkable young man that I've been speaking to privately and publicly for the duration of my research on this project, who has alleged with a massive amount of evidence that Colleen's older brother Trent would DM him sexually inappropriate messages over Twitter for months when he was only 13 years old. Yeah, Oliver's been through a lot and is so incredibly strong. It's just, Oliver is a remarkable person. I can tell you that for a fact. Since then, more information has leaked about inappropriate messages that Trent has shared with other underage and sometimes of age fans of Colleen, as well as the revelation that Trent would spend more time on Colleen's fan chats via Tiny Chat than any member of the family. Think about that. Now, for the record, all of those fans were underage at the time, and despite John Silvestri's questionable story, there is photographic proof that even he spent a decent amount of time in person with Trent both before and after he was of age. And now, Oliver's story is quite disturbing, and it's one that we were looking to share more in depth before Johnny did a massive belly flop in the cesspool and we had to mop up his bullshit for a solid month. I actually conducted an interview with Oliver that we never got to air because of John's mess, which sucks. Even my segment discussing Trent in my interview with Joshua had to be...
Okay, I can understand the frustration towards Swoop, but it's not Swoop's fault. I mean, to say that you have the interview, you know, but the problem is, this is not a case of, like, if people are like, oh, why can't Swoop just upload the interview? It's not like that. Like, whenever, and I can understand the frustration because it's like, oh, Johnny got interviewed and it got posted, Adam got interviewed, Becky, you know, like, I can understand completely the, like, well, why not Oliver? But the thing is, for the Oliver interview to go up and all the claims that Oliver made, regardless of how much proof he showed, Swoop has to do what she did with me, Johnny, Becky, which is the reason the Johnny thing turned into a big thing, because whenever you investigate claims, you have to, like, fact check them. I'm not saying any, like, obviously we're very aware of all of the truths that Oliver is saying, but it's not as easy as just posting an interview. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and if that topic is a lot for Swoop, Swoop has no commitment to have to post that. If Swoop also doesn't want to make the video, that is enough that Swoop doesn't have to. And if anyone is saying that, is expecting too much of Swoop, Swoop is a YouTuber who is making documentaries on this platform, who has also experienced very similar and outrageous things that have happened to her whenever she was younger to do with being groomed, and Swoop has no responsibility to any of us. That's it. That's it. So, give her a fucking break. And that's it. Like, give her a fucking break. You have no idea the amount of, how much this sits on you. I can't even imagine, like, with Swoop. I mean, you're talking to all of us for hours on end. Give her a break. I can understand the frustration, but give her a break. Jesus Christ. Also, this is literally a video on a channel where she opened it with saying, I want to do this where it's easier content to make than the big deep dives. Okay?
Cut because we didn't have time to fully investigate Trent the way we needed to before presenting any of that and all of the secrecy that's been surrounding him. So again, thanks for that, John boy. Regardless, comments like these from Jessica are illuminating, however, on why Oliver's story needs to be told and will hopefully one day be told in full. Because if what Jessica is saying here is accurate, Trent's actions are so disturbing that even Colleen's biggest supporters are backing away from him. Let me repeat part of what Jessica said. She will not allow her kids around Trent Ballinger. Why? Tell us more. And Jessica, if you believe or know Trent to be dangerous, what are you going to do about it to protect other kids aside from your own? So we're at a point where JoJo is speaking out. The Ballinger family is speaking out. Joshua spoke out with me. Slowly but surely, everybody in this universe is beginning to address the red lipstick elephant in the room in some way, which also includes Cory DeSoto. In case you missed Adam McIntyre's very intense video on the subject, Cory DeSoto is back in thirst trap form. On August 30th, 2023, Cory DeSoto returned to Instagram with this. Internet. Cory, the toilet cleaner, DeSoto.
Please, I'm melting.
Trap showing off a set of muscles he did not have before. Is it the gym or is it protein powder? You go, bro-tato chip. Now, when Adam began to stream about this and reminded his audience that Cory also had his own group chats filled with minors known as Cory's clit, that's a thing.
And also, the person who sent me the voice note who was a part of Cory's clit.
Aww. Brighton. Oh, my old streaming room. This apartment isn't even big enough to have a streaming room. I took it for granted. I took you for granted, second bedroom. I took you for granted. Jack and Sally, I took you for granted. Wow, guys. We really downgraded. I do have a second bedroom here, but it is literally fits a bed. Look at this fun background with these lights, by the way, that ripped off the wall and is one of the things that I'm being charged for. Wow. Manchester is so cool, isn't it? Look at this. Wow. Old streaming, new streaming. Whoa, that's crazy. Wow, we really... Woo! Production value went up, didn't it? Fuck me, look at that. Woohoo! Manchester's almost too much fun. The window that I can't even open, otherwise you'll know exactly where I fucking live. That's crazy. I saw very little seagulls whenever I was in Brighton, by the way. I saw a lot of foxes, but I didn't see any seagulls.
It said that the people in Cory's clip then turned against that person.
We're doing a background for you, Adam. Hey. The problem with doing a background is the pizza fox. That's how I know you're a real one. The problem with doing a background in here is this is my bedroom. So I don't want to... I thought we were setting up the back. But I want it to be like nice. I don't want it to be like tacky as fuck because this is my bedroom. Like, it's so, you know, dainty and like peaceful in here. I'm not putting like a fucking cardboard cutout there. It will be nice. Okay, what's your idea then? Like, what can we put here? Were we not doing a chair? That is interesting, actually. Well, what I'm thinking is... Hello? Hey! Ooh, I disappeared! I disappeared! What I'm thinking is putting like a little coffee table, like a little short one, like small, here, with a plant on it, and then like a chair right here that I could also film YouTube videos on. 2 in 1 space. Look at that. I'm not putting any lights up. I made that mistake last time. If I put like a little chair here, like a little, like small little sofa that I could film videos on. Hello, come into focus. Hey. Hey. There we go. And then like a little small coffee table that goes there and a little plant on it. Blah, 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 blah. When are we going to do that? When are you coming back to Manchester? With an invitation. Yeah, we're going for minimalism in this new apartment. Brighton was so... That apartment was hideous by the time I moved out. It was fucking jam-packed with shite. Jam-packed with shite. Literally 1 million cardboard cutouts. 1,000 posters. Like, no cat tree. And you know why? Mr. Milo is not allowed in here. Milo is not allowed into my bedroom. He's not allowed. The girls are, but he's not. Milo is not allowed in my bathroom or my bedroom. No, he's not allowed. Milo is not allowed in any of the bathrooms or bedrooms for now. Oh, just you wait. Because he came in on his first fucking day and tried to rip up the carpet, and I cannot trust him. So until he learns to behave himself, he's not coming in. Oh, I'm coming to Manchester with my partner. The comment went away. Just text me later. Anyway, let's get back to this.
And we're going to say this. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Cory, you have not thought... Oh, has he already deleted it? Cory, you have not thought about the fact that I have...
Oof. I was going crazy on this stream.
some of the fucking Cory's Clit members coming to me, you dipshit.
Now, Cory allegedly tried posting a set of receipts to his...
I have such a way with words.
Adam was lying, with one of the members tweeting back in June that none of the members were underage, and that when Adam posted that weird voice memo Cory sent, he was allegedly sending it to adults, not minors. No, he's not part of the sus pool. No. Not that that makes it much better.
Hey everyone, it's
Oh my god, I'm so tan here.
but first of all, I just want to say
Me drinking a rosé. Me just drinking wine. Like 4 p.m.
that, like, I love all of you. Like, you honestly mean so much to me.
Oh my god.
You have no idea. I know that it sounds weird because I'm a full-grown adult and some of you are younger.
My earrings here, then my ears closed up again. They lasted a week.
Oh,
and
God.
I'm a loner and I'm a loser. Like, my only friend is Colleen.
I'm telling you, the sus pool be sus, and it didn't take long for the internet to do its thing and realize, oh wait, person saying that they were an adult was only 17 when Cory sent that note. Whoopsie daisy, sir, toilet brush to the sus pool with you. Cory quietly deleted that little post and then added a caption to his thirst trap that says, quote, "Gym really helped me with my mental health. I would run to the gym every time anxiety, depression, and ending life thoughts got to me." You know, that is great, Cory, and I'm really glad you found a positive way to help with all of that. It's important. It is important. Whether you like the guy or not, it's important. You know what also is important, though? You maybe addressing some of these rather intense allegations against you instead of just deleting your Twitter and running. But, you know, protein powder. Anyways, on September 18th, Cory posted this to Instagram.
Hi, I'm Cory DeSoto, and I'm playing Frankie the Fox. Come find out what the fox says.
Swoop is so evil for including that. Swoop, I didn't even go that low to include that in any of my streams. Swoop, you are a nasty, nasty woman for including that. I didn't even include that. You are a nasty woman. That is so messy to include Cory DeSoto doing a pantomime. Hey, I'm Cory DeSoto and I'm going to be playing the fox. Let's come out and find out what the fox says. You are a nasty woman for including that. I didn't even include that because it's
That it's important. It is important. Whether you like the guy or not, it's important. You know what also is important, though? You maybe addressing some of these rather intense allegations.
if I skipped past it?
Instead of just deleting your Twitter and running. But, you know.
I want to see it again.
Whoopsie daisy, sir, toilet brush to the cesspool with you. Cory quietly deleted that little post and then added a caption to his thirst trap that says, quote, "Gym really helped me with my mental health. I would run to the gym every time.
Come find out what the fox says.
Life thoughts got to me." You know, that is great, Cory, and I'm really glad you found a positive way to help with all of that. It's important. It is important. Whether you like the guy or not, it's important. You know what also is important, though? You maybe addressing some of these rather intense allegations against you instead of just deleting your Twitter and running. But, you know, protein powder. Anyways, on September 18th, Cory posted this to Instagram.
Hi, I'm Cory DeSoto, and I'm playing Frankie the Fox. Come find out what the fox says.
Yeah.
She knew she was evil for including that. She knew. She's so evil.
Okay, one more thing. I wanted to talk a little bit in response to some of you messaging asking me where part 5 of the Colleen series is. Now, rest assured, I was
Evil.
considering doing a part 5 in the future that tackles many of the topics that we didn't get around to in the last 4 parts, as well as any new and major developments that pop up in the coming months. And of course, if Colleen ever responded to me about interviewing her, then that would be the thing that we do. But I'm gonna be real with you all at this point in time. I need a break from Colleen, unless she wants to do an interview. My team and I, again, we're only 3 people here. For the documentaries, started preliminary research for part 1 on June 7th, just one day after I put out the Illuminati documentary, which itself took nearly 3 weeks to pull together. When we started researching Colleen, we had no idea just what we were in store for between over a dozen initial hours of video that were released by Adam McIntyre, Johnny Silvestri, and other creators in the first week, and then hundreds upon thousands of tweets and receipts, hundreds of Colleen videos to sift through, not to mention what inevitably became nearly 24 hours of interviews that I conducted directly with Adam, John, Joshua, Becky, Oliver, Soph, Bella, Alex, and the anonymous people that I also spoke with. 24 hours worth of interview recordings. This is a lot. That was on top of the pages upon pages of private written correspondence with the victims and people familiar with the story. I had many private phone calls with many of those involved.
Time and place.
Finished documentary that got completely derailed because of the huge level of deception that we weren't anticipating from you-know-who. That changed the course of a lot of things. That's why stuff took quite a bit longer. The truth is, like, my team and I just need a break from Colleen. Like, it was exhausting and
And again, they hold no, is it allegiance? Is that the word? To cover any of this. So please, listen to what she just said. Fuck me. I don't understand why this is such a controversial thing to have to fucking say. I understand Reddit will be Reddit, but fuck me.
clogged my pores, okay? We don't allow that in this house. I talk a lot about my team and they are incredible. Those docs don't happen to that level without them, but all of that ish that I just listed is what I did. Like, my team was busy with so many other aspects and they would jump in as needed, but that's what was on Auntie Swoop's personal workload. I feel like Auntie Swoop needs a moment, okay? Listen, friends. I mean, I was so deep in the Colleen trenches. Like, did y'all see that I'm listed on a Colleen lore iceberg now? Like,
There's an iceberg? Jessica on her sofa? Sorry. Not just sofa. Okay, wait. This is so tiny. I'm trying to read it. Okay. I'm going to read them to you. Colleen killing her childhood dog. Colleenie's weenies. Latina racist video. Ukulele. Sending Trisha's nudes. Sent a minor lingerie. Toxic gossip train. Adam, Becky, and Oliver's stories. So this is the tip of the iceberg. Okay. So this is what everyone kind of knows. Then we have what most people know. Racism on the Haters Back Off set. Swoop. Ex-husband's phantom divorce. Miranda cheeseball skit. Cory's clit. Longtime friendship with JoJo Siwa. I just realized how close I am to this camera. Hey. MTV True Life. Johnny is a liar. Hateful Most Shady Person by Shane Dawson. So then this is what kind of some people know. Ballinger family are, I don't know what that says, asking a minor to send ass pics, friendship with Ariana Grande, worst episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, coming out as a Meghan Trainor fan. I would argue that everyone needs to know that. It's the funniest thing ever. Inflation fetish, left a minor stranded in Dublin, hey, Peapod, mocking her fan's tattoo. Okay. Now, further, Gangnam Style racist video, shitting in a prop toilet. Mama May, brave mom, I miss it all so much. Ball cocker, cock blocker, stock dick, which is what she used to say in reference to Eric. That's crazy reading that out loud, actually. That's what she used to call Eric. Ball cocker, cock blocker, stock dick. That's what she used to call Eric and her. She used to come into Weenies and say that. That's crazy to read out. That's actually really fun to read out. Ball, cocker, cock, blocker, stock dick. That's genius to read out. Can we read that one more time? Ball, cocker, cock, blocker, stock dick. That's crazy. How to sing like a black woman, the Miranda video. Todrick at the laundromat with the homeless person. Salmon labia, childhood cancer, scam raiser. Hello? The scam fundraiser. I want to strangle my nurse. Okay. Now we have the next one. Miranda's vlogs, Miranda's private channel. Auntie Panties, favorite part of the night, dancing with Cory. Whatever the fuck that means. Cosmo Corner, straightening her hair in high risk labor. Rachel mistreating Blaze. That's her dog. Fuck me, I don't even know that one. Lazy anniversary with Josh. The bakery and Gossip Garden. TikTok bullies. Now we're really going in. Applesauce diet. Jessica and her sofa. Squeents. Abby faking that her dog was a service. Whoever the fuck Abby is. JoJo taking Josh's side in the divorce. Puzzle pieces. Rue forced to stay in a crate all day. Who the fuck is Rue? Tim isn't Rachel's real dad. Okay, that's just evil to say that. I never liked when people brought that up. Girl on girl action. A video with her niece. Matt Slays and Rebecca Zamolo. Tim and Gwen filing for divorce. Butterflies in my penis. When she said her son was burning calories on the Jolly Jumper. The Shadows. Aloha Gate. T-Kai. And I can't read the other ones. Not itty bitty waist.
On a Colleen lore iceberg now. Like, that's a thing. I don't even fully know what being in this iceberg means, but I'm assuming it's an honor to be there, hopefully. You know, I just, for right now, want to talk about some other stories for a while and see what other dreadful things are happening in the world that, like Ruby Frankie.
Ball cocker, cock blocker, Eric stock cock. Did I get it right?
Have you all seen? I just posted a deep dive on my main channel about Ruby Frankie and all of that's been going on. I'll link that down below because wow. Anyways, it has been an absolute honor and pleasure getting to know Adam, Becky, Oliver, Soph, Bella, Alex, Ella, Josh.
The honor is mutual.
And y'all's response to the nearly 12 hours of documentary. That is a 12-hour series.
So if it's 12 hours, by the way, imagine how much work has gone into that. That is longer than that. So if Swoop isn't going to make another video, Swoop isn't going to make another video.
It's been mind-blowing. So thank you so much. Again, your support of the work has been such a blessing, and there is lots more in the work.
Bye, Junkie.
And I look forward to getting back to a regular schedule over there as well. As for the new channel here, let's just have some fun. Again, I'm still working out the exact format here. I don't have a set schedule. I don't even have an outro planned. I haven't written anything. I don't know what I'm saying at the end of this. So thanks for coming along for the ride.
All right, we'll leave it there. Well, shout out to Swoop. And there you go. If anyone is going to give Swoop any backlash, Reddit, I'm looking at you after that video. I don't know how much more she can tell you. Give the girl a break. And also, Swoop, personally, well, very publicly, thank you so much for all of the work that you have done. Really appreciate it. I've said time and time again, you could have given up on this topic. And if I was you, I probably would have by episode 1. So shout out to Swoop and go subscribe to her second channel and her main channel. And I can't wait to watch her 8 Passengers video. Okay, Swoop. Time and place. See you very soon.